Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cyclone Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. A quick reminder that Global Television is on the DSTV channel 365 and Star Times 276. You can download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. Now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu says his administration has rescued Nigeria's economy from the brink of collapse, assuring Nigerians living in St. Lucia that significant reforms are stabilizing the economy and reviving investor confidence. This was disclosed in a statement released by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga. He said, as one of the time he assumed office, he inherited a country that was near bankruptcy. The Julius Abure-led faction of the Labour Party has issued a 48-hour ultimatum to the party's 2023 presidential candidate, Peter Obi, to formally resign his membership following his decision to join the opposition coalition platform under the African Democratic Congress. Obi was unveiled as one of the major political figures aligning with the new ADC-led coalition formed to challenge President Bola Tinubu in the 2027 general election. In a statement in Abuja, Labour Party's National Publicity Secretary, Obiora Ifo, described the coalition as a gathering of powermongers and accused Obi of holding dual political loyalties. The Nigerian Medical Association has assured a 21-day ultimatum to the federal government to meet its demand to avert industrial action in the health sector. The association, in a press conference in Abuja, expressed disappointment and condemned the circular on the consequential adjustment of allowances under the Consolidated Medical Salary Structure for medical and dental practitioners in Nigeria. Professor Audu said the circular from the National Salary Income and Wages Commission violated previous collective bargaining agreements with the government, adding that the recent development had worsened already existing tension among doctors who had remained committed to serving in Nigeria despite ongoing challenges. The federal government has offered a 50 million naira venture capital grant to outstanding students in Nigeria universities. It was gathered that the grant was for students in science, technology, engineering and mathematics at medicine fields. The Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, who announced this in Abuja at the inauguration of the Research and Innovation Commercialization Committee, revealed that the initiative would be rolled out between September and October this year. The Student Grant Venture Capital Initiative will provide up to 50 million naira in grants to high-achieving STEM students in Nigerian universities starting from 300 level. The Japanese government, through its embassy in Nigeria, is expanding its medical interventions in Enugu State by setting up mega incinerators to manage medical waste at 26 primary health facilities and provide hospitals in the Enugu East local government area of the state. Grassroots Human Security Project Coordinator at the Embassy of Japan in Nigeria, Wakana Daguchi, led a delegation from the embassy to assess the Abakpa General Hospital site for the project. The incinerators project, which the embassy would be implementing with the South Saharan Social Development Organization, would reduce the difficulty health facilities face as they had to travel several distances to the Enugu cold store to be incinerated. Oyo State High Court sitting in Ibadan dismissed a 5 billion naira defamation suit instituted by the Arono Kamfo of Yoruba Land, Gani Adams, against the Yoruba Nation activist Sunday Ademo, fondly called Sunday Igboho. The court, presided over by Justice O.T. Ademola Salami, also award a cost of 500,000 naira against Adams in favor of Igboho. He alleged that the respondent recorded a telephone conversation between him and another person without his consent to get defamatory content, saying the action breached his rights to privacy pursuant to Section 37 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. The Nigerian Army High Command says it vehemently denied terrorists the opportunity to disrupt Nigeria's socio-cultural heritage or smear the sanctity of the country's sovereignty. General Oluyede spoke at a briefing to announce activities marking the 162nd anniversary of the Army. According to the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, the Army rose to challenge and save the nation from further doom, contending with the enemies of peace and agents of chaos who have brought terrorism to our borders and caused a plethora of internal security issues. The Nigerian military says during the second quarter of 2025, despite some minor setbacks caused by improvised explosive device, troops across all theater of operations arrested over 1,191 terrorists. Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Marcus Kange, made this known while addressing journalists at the Defense Headquarters in Abuja. Kikelomo Okere has the details.
The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Marcus Kange, says during the second quarter of 2025, the Nigerian military, in conjunction with the hybrid forces and other security agencies, recorded significant achievements in the ongoing counter-terrorism and counter-insurgency operations which pose serious threats to national security and socio-economic activities. Major General Kenge also says the quarter also witnesses mass surrender of Boko Haram and ISWAP terrorists due to troops overwhelming firepower terrorist commanders, bandit kingpin and IPOB criminals.
For instance, our troops killed several terrorist kingpins and their foot soldiers, arrested over 1,191 of them, and rescued about 543 kidnapped victims. During the quarter also, about 682 terrorists and their families surrendered to our troops. Among the terrorists eliminated were dreaded Amir Abu Fatima, Kingpin Auta, Abdul Jamilu.
Major General Kenge also reveals that troops of Operation Delta Safe foiled oil theft worth over 3 billion naira. Relatedly, troops recovered some automatic weapons, RPG tubes, machine guns, locally fabricated guns, and improvised explosive device, which were prepared by the terrorists and ready for detonation.
2,381,239 liters of stolen crude oil, 605,309 liters of illegally refined AGO, 41,465 liters of dual-purpose kerosene, and 26,905 liters of premium motor spirit. These were also recovered. In addition, troops discovered and destroyed about 174 illegally refining sites, while 45 vehicles were seized from them.
The Military High Command, however, expresses deep appreciation to the field commanders and their men for their resolve and determination across all theaters in ensuring that all forms of threat facing the country are conclusively brought to an end. He assures Nigerians of the Nigerian military and all security agencies' code of conduct for internal security operations, law of armed conflict, and rules of engagement. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
You're watching the live broadcast of News Cycle. When News Cycle return, Nigeria to end gas flaring by 2030 under new strategy. Detail coming shortly, plus foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now from the world of business, where President Bola Tinubu commissioned the Northwest Digital Industrial Park in Kano, which was vandalized during the End Bad Governance protest in 2024. President Tinubu was represented at the commissioning ceremony by the Minister of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijani in Kano. The minister in his address expressed the need for the youth in the state and the country at large to use this opportunity to tap from the various opportunities across the globe. The Nigerian Offspring Petroleum Regulatory Commission says its gas-centric transition strategy aimed to eliminate routine flaring by 2030 and reduce methane by 60% by 2031. The Commission's Chief Executive, Benga Komolafe, made this known at the ongoing 24th Nigerian Oil and Gas Energy Week Conference 2025. He revealed that the strategy was supported by initiatives such as the Decade of Gas, the Nigerian Gas Flare Commercialization Program, and the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas CNG Initiative. Nigeria's physical outlook for 2025 is under serious threat, according to the International Monetary Fund, which has warned that the country must urgently revise its budget targets or face a deepening financial crisis. The IMF's latest article, a four-consultation report, points to a significant risk of Nigeria exceeding its fiscal deficit projection for the year, driven by a combination of falling oil prices, lower production levels, and challenges in capital expenditure execution. It called on the Nigerian authority to take immediate action to recalibrate the country's fiscal policy and budget expectation to reflect the country's economic reality. The United States Ambassador to Nigeria, Richard Mills, has announced that bilateral trade between the two countries has soared to about $13 billion last year. Mills disclosed this at a dinner organized by the U.S. mission in Nigeria to mark the country's 249th independence anniversary. He said that the spiraling trade relations between the two nations have fostered not only economic opportunities for Nigerians, but have also created jobs for Americans and Nigerians alike. On the foreign scene, the embattled former Director General of the National Financial Investigation Agency in Equatorial Guinea, Balsa Ngoga, is set to face 18 years imprisonment after he appeared in the Malabo court for his corruption trial. Ngoga had been detained at Black Beach Prison since September 2024 following the corruption probe, and unrelated to the over 400 sex tapes involving high-profile women uncovered in his office and houses. In addition to the prison terms, the charges include a recommended fine of over 910 million CFA francs, approximately $1.5 million, and a prohibition on holding any public office throughout the sentence period. The South Korean lawyers have voted to revise the rules around martial law. now barring any attempts to obstruct lawmakers from entering the National Assembly. This comes after former President Yoon Suk Yeol short-lived martial law order last December, which plunged the country into a political crisis. As military forces gathered in front of the National Assembly, lawmakers had to scale the walls to vote down Yoon's order. The amendment also banned the military and police from entering the National Assembly without the approval of its speaker. Hundreds of people have been evacuated as major wildfire continues to turn out of control on the Greek island of Crete. The fire, which has been famed by a gale force wind, broke out in rugged forests remained near the municipality of Laripetra. The flames have spread rapidly, threatening homes, tourist accommodation, and critical infrastructure, including a fuel station. The fire front now extends over at least 6 kilometers, according to emergency services, making containment increasingly difficult. A thick smoke has engulfed the wider area, reducing visibility to near zero in places. The southern Indian state of Kerala has defended its decision to introduce Zumba classes in public schools after the move sparked protests from religious groups earlier this week. Some 14,000 state-run schools in Kerala have been asked to organize daily Zumba sessions as part of an anti-drug campaign launched by the government last month. The decision has been bitterly opposed by some Hindu and Muslim organizations in the state, who says the dance is a form of cultural invasion. Now in sport, the Confederation of African Football has given official approval for the MKO Abiola Sports Arena in Abeokuta, Ogun State, to host the upcoming Under-17 West African Football Union Zone B Championship. The announcement comes following a comprehensive inspection of the facility, which passed all assessments related to seating capacity, pitch quality, safety, infrastructure, and auxiliary services in line with CAF standard. The CAF delegation was led by WAFU Executive Director Philip Chair, who was joined by the chairman of the Ogun State Football Association and Nigerian Football Federation Board member Ganio Mujekunu. Liverpool and Portugal forward Diogo Jota has died at the age of 28 following a tragic road accident in Spain. The fatal crash occurred on the A52 motorway at kilometer 65 near the municipality of Palacos de Sambria in the province of Zamora. Jota, born in 1996, was a key figure for both Liverpool FC and the Portuguese national team. The news of his sudden passing has sent shockwaves through the footballing world and beyond.